I want you to picture the hottest moment of your entire life. That one afternoon you still remember. The parking lot that felt like an oven. The car seat that burned through your jeans. Now add 20 degrees. That's a Tuesday in Death Valley, California. 54 Celsius. The kind of heat where the road ahead doesn't just shimmer, it lies to you. Lakes appear on the asphalt and vanish. Birds stop flying. The National Park Service puts up signs that say, in plain English, after 10 a.m., do not walk anywhere. And through the middle of this furnace runs a highway. And on that highway, right now, is a 40-ton truck grinding uphill at 30 kilometers an hour. Look inside the cab, and you'll see something that makes no sense. The windows are up. The air conditioning is off, and the driver, a man named Tom's, 61 years old, soaked through his shirt, has just reached down and turned the heater on. Full blast. Hot air roaring into a cab that's already at 50 degrees. You heard that right. The heater. In Death Valley. In July. Your brain is screaming that this man has lost his mind. But Tom's is not crazy. Tom's is doing the single smartest thing a driver can do on this road, and by the end of this video, when you understand why, you'll realize that everything you think you know about surviving heat is backwards.
The rules were
because out here, comfort will kill you.
Climb the mountain.
And the drivers who cross this valley every week live by 3 rules that sound insane, until you hear the reason behind each one. Stay with me. We're going up this mountain with him. Rule 1. The climb decides everything. Here's what most people don't know about Death Valley. The heat isn't the trap. The geography is. The valley floor sits 86 meters below sea level, the lowest point in North America, which means there is only one way out, up. To leave westbound, Tom's has to climb Towne Pass, a brutal, unbroken ascent of over 1.5 vertical kilometers in less than 30 kilometers of road. No flat sections, no shade, no mercy. Now do the math his engine is doing. 40 tons of steel and cargo. A grade steep enough to make rental cars overheat empty. And an air temperature so high that the radiator, the engine's only way of dumping heat, is trying to cool itself with air that is already hotter than the human body can survive. A diesel engine at full load on that climb generates enough heat to warm a small apartment building. Normally, the cooling system handles it, but at 54 degrees, the system is fighting with one hand tied behind its back. The temperature needle starts walking. 95 degrees coolant, 100, 105, somewhere around 110, alarms scream. A few degrees past that, gaskets fail, and the engine, a machine worth more than most people's houses, begins to destroy itself from the inside. And this is where the air conditioner enters the story as the villain. Your AC doesn't make cold from nothing. It's a heat pump bolted to the engine, stealing horsepower to run its compressor, and here's the killer dumping its collected heat through a condenser that sits directly in front of the radiator. On a cool day, nobody notices. On Towne Pass in July, the AC is literally preheating the air before it reaches the one component keeping the engine alive. So rule 1, passed down from driver to driver for 50 years, the moment the grade begins, the AC dies. Every degree of cooling you give your body, you steal from your engine. And your body can suffer. Your engine cannot. But shutting off the AC only slows the needle. It doesn't stop it. And that brings us to the part that breaks people's brains. Rule 2. The heater is a second radiator. Back to Tom's. Hand on that heater knob. Think about what a cab heater actually is. It's a small radiator inside your dashboard. Hot engine coolant flows through it, a fan blows across it, and the heat that was inside the engine ends up inside the cab on your face, your chest, your hands. Now flip your perspective. If the heater moves engine heat into the cab, then the heater is a cooling system for the engine. A second radiator. An emergency exit for heat that has nowhere else to go. When Tom's turns that heater to maximum on the climb, he is sacrificing his own body to bleed 5, sometimes 8 degrees out of his coolant temperature. 8 degrees. On this mountain, 8 degrees is the entire difference between cresting the pass and standing beside a dead truck in air that kills healthy adults in 3 hours. Drivers call it eating the heat. You take the engine's pain into the cab, into your skin, because you can drink water and the engine can't. Old-timers will tell you about crossings where the cab hits 60 degrees inside, hotter than any sauna you've ever sat in, windows cracked just enough to keep them conscious. Wet towel on the back of the neck, eyes locked on that temperature needle like it was a heartbeat monitor. Because it is one. And they prepare for this like a spacewalk. 20 liters of water behind the seat, not for comfort, for survival math. 1 liter per hour, minimum, or your judgment goes before your body does. Electrolyte packets, because water alone flushes the sodium out of you and cramps hit your legs on the pedals. A cheap infrared thermometer in the door pocket, pointed at the tires at every stop, because heat has one more ambush waiting. And it's under the truck. Asphalt in Death Valley reaches 80 degrees Celsius. Hot enough to fry an egg, that's not a saying. Rangers have actually done it. Tire pressure climbs with temperature. And a tire that left Las Vegas at a healthy pressure arrives at the valley floor, overinflated, cooking, its rubber softening. Truckers here run their pressures deliberately adjusted. They never park on fresh black asphalt if gravel is available, and they know the sound. A blowout at 54 degrees isn't a flat. It's a small bomb letting go next to a fuel tank. So the ack is off. The heater is roaring. The water is flowing. The needle is holding at 104. Tom's crests Towne Pass, doing 18 kilometers an hour. And the moment the road tips downhill, you'd think the danger is over. It's not. Rule 3 is waiting on the way down. Rule 3. Downhill is where trucks die. Here's the secret about mountain grades that every trucker knows, and almost no car driver does. The climb threatens your engine, but the descent threatens your life. 40 tons rolling downhill builds speed like a falling piano. Touch the brakes to hold it back, and you're converting all of that motion into heat inside brake drums that are already sitting in 50-degree air with zero ability to cool down. Ride those brakes for 3 kilometers and they fade. Fade means gone. Means the pedal goes soft and the truck simply doesn't slow down anymore. That's why the drivers who survive this valley go down slower than they came up. Low gear, engine brake growling like a chained animal. Foot off the pedal entirely, crawling at 25 while tourists in rental cars fly past honking. Every one of those honking drivers thinks the trucker is slow. The trucker knows he's alive. And here's the twist this valley saves for last. Ask Toms, ask any of them if they hate this run. Most will smile and say it's their favorite road in America. Because at 2 a.m., when the smart ones actually cross, Death Valley becomes something else entirely. The temperature drops to a cool 38. The tourists are gone. The sky above the lowest place on the continent has zero light pollution. Drivers describe pulling over at Badwater Basin, killing every light, and standing under a Milky Way so bright it throws shadows. One driver told me, in the day, this place tries to kill you. At night, it shows you why it was worth the fight. The valley doesn't hate them, it just refuses to be crossed by anyone careless. So the next time you're stuck behind a slow truck on a desert grade, windows up in impossible heat, don't shake your head. Inside that cab is a person running heater on at 54 degrees, drinking their 6th liter of water, protecting a cooling system with their own skin, playing a chess game against physics that their grandfather's generation of drivers wrote the rules for. They're not suffering, they're winning. Slowly, deliberately, 1 degree at a time. Now it's your turn. What's the hottest temperature you've ever driven through, and did your vehicle make it without drama? Drop it in the comments, I read every single one. And if you're watching this from an air-conditioned room right now, go ahead, turn the ack off for just 10 minutes. That's their easy part of the day. Subscribe, because next, We're going somewhere even stranger. The road where trucks are never allowed to stop. Not even for a second. And the reason will keep you up at night.